Peace on everyone. My name is Hannes, or Gradient on the crypto Twitterverse, and I'm one of the builders at Zeal. Zeal is a team of former Revoluters who started building this neo wallet, as we call it, a couple of years back. And I'm going to talk a bit about what we can learn from neobanks. A problem we were thinking about when we were working at Revolut, and then we've been thinking about how we can apply some of those learnings in the wallet space. This presentation is also known as the Yay, we're launching Zeal today presentation, because that's what we're doing. So first off, what is a bank? Technically, it's a licensed financial institution that accepts deposit from the public and creates a demand deposit while simultaneously making loans. This is what a bank is. But what people want from a bank is for the deposits to be safe. This is the number one thing for a bank, making sure that money is safe. And people want to be able to use their money together with a bank. More money is moving into banks from cash because right now regulators are waging a war against cash. But when we ask the central bank, the ECB, they say that cash is something that ensures our freedom and autonomy. That banknotes and coins are the only form of money that people can keep without involving a third party. This is not me making up. This is a link here. You can check the cash strategy of ECB. And it's also that cash ensures our privacy. They respect our fundamental right to have our privacy, data, and identity protected in financial matters. So how can we ensure that our freedom and autonomy survives this war on cash? We need to build wallets that deliver what people want from banks with what they need from cash. And we'll be talking about some of these design principles that are leading of how we have been implementing Zeal, but also how we think can help others build wallets. These are kind of bigger objectives that we have. By no means are all of these already there. But it's a good goalpost to have to deliver solutions that matter and help people. So first off, we need to build wallets that aim to become safer even than banks, and that are easier than cash, at the very least easier than physical cash, and that can do everything in money, so not just constrained to a very narrow set of use cases. And we believe if we can accomplish these things, then we have built great solutions that allow people to engage in the financial lives with the safety and security that banks give them, but in a self-custodial way. Should be noted here, when we talk about self-custodial banks are licensed entities, so this is more of a design exercise than a marketing exercise. First off, one thing that's important, and we've been making great strides on this one as an industry, is onboarding. You know, the epic example of seed phrases and where you put them or hide them or you lock them up in a bank. We finally have solutions to killing seed phrases. We now have smart wallets with Safe as the industry-leading contract for that, or contract suite, together with new innovations like passkeys and with that biometrics that allows us to secure things in a simple yet safe way. And finally, these things are coming together in a way that we can deliver great experiences to people. Speed of transactions, we can't wait 15 minutes at point of sale for a transaction to clear before we get our coffee, right? But now we have not just L2s, but L3s. We have layers on layers that help us solve the speed problem. And connected to that, also transaction fees. You can't pay for coffee if a transaction costs more than the coffee itself. But with layers and blobs and beyond, we have now also solved the transaction cost problem, where basically on several places, the transaction fees becomes a rounding error, and we can also handle smaller and smaller transactions. And then gas, not just in the concept of fees, but gas as something that people have to think about when they make a transaction. A classic one is I load up my wallet with, say, USDC, and then I can't make a transaction because I don't have XDAI or Matic or Ether, what it might be. But now we can make transactions with almost any token thanks to account abstraction. And lastly, and this is not so much a technical development, although there is some aspect to it when it comes to compliance and making things work better, which is ramping, both on and off ramping. For a long time, moving money into crypto, or on-ramp, or on-chain, has cost 4% up to 5%, which can work if the objective is to make 10x on a meme coin. But if you're just a person getting your salary and paying your rent, buying a beer or coffee, then all of a sudden 4% is roughly the interest you get on a current account or a savings account even. So if we want to make onboarding work really, really smoothly, we have to make the cost also converge with zero. If we look at neobanks, most of them have removed onboarding costs, and they subsidize them from different parts of the business unit. If you look at both Revolut and N26 in these banks, you can basically move money into your account with the various channels and not have to worry about a very large fee on it. And we need to get that too. I think the solution in this aspect for the industry, and it's happening as we speak, is larger demand, i.e. larger volumes moving on and off chain. And with that, because there's more demand, comes competition. And with competition, that drives down the costs. And that's happening right now, where we see a number of different players coming out with more and more aggressive pricing to make it basically converge with zero. So we think these are some of the key aspects of onboarding that for quite some time hasn't been there, but we're now getting to a place where they are there. And we can build solutions that do things. But we have to do things that are going beyond trading. And this is another aspect that we think is important. If we only build focused on trading use cases, then we only get trading and traders. And if we want to make crypto evergreen, we want to make crypto something that is around the year or around the decade, we have to make it less cyclical and step out of just the bull and the bear market swings that we have had the last 10 years. And really the OG use case for crypto 15 years ago, peer-to-peer digital cash, is something that we still haven't really delivered on. We are starting to deliver on it now. But it's still hard to just send a payment link with some digital dollars to someone who's not in crypto yet. Even people who are in crypto still do traditional Web2 peer-to-peer payments because it's not that easy to just make a self-custodial peer-to-peer payment, even though this was the original promise, right, the Bitcoin white paper. So peer-to-peer payments is one of them. And the other one, and we just had Gnosis Pay and Visa on stage, which is we think one of the key drivers in this, is daily payments, making crypto useful day to day. And almost all of us buy something every day. Not all of us set up an LP position in Uniswap every day, but most of us buy something every day. And daily payments is something that allows us to build a closer relationship with customers and then can onboard them and bring them out to other use cases within crypto. So we think these are two of the more important things to enable in order to make crypto useful outside of the trading cycles. But by no means, of course, an extensive list of use cases, because there's a lot of innovation in the space. Which brings to the next point of having differentiated experiences. So we got this onboarding stuff done, right? We have smooth onboarding. People don't have to worry about seed phrases, and they can sort out all the basics. But that's just the table stakes. Then what? Then we have to do something that people want to do. Now they can do it, but why do they want to do it? And this comes down to differentiated experiences. At Revolut, we did FX at cost for expats, which was a great nuanced and differentiated go-to-market. And we need to think similar when we're building experiences in this space and grow the pie, not just by differentiating versus other wallets in our ecosystem, but versus real-life use cases. Some people care about self-custody. Some people care about higher yield, lower transaction fees in certain transactions. We need to innovate on these different areas, and this is something I talked to many wallet builders that many or most of us are obsessing about. And we need to make sure that obsession also extends outside of crypto into the broader real-world use cases. A UX one, less is more. We love throwing all the details at people in interfaces, but sometimes less is more. I won't say more on that. Making the old world and the new world work side by side. I think a great parallel here is how voice over IP has slowly integrated to work side by side with telephony. Right now, if someone calls me on my landline, I'm almost a bit afraid why they're calling me on this old number when everyone who knows me calls me on one of the many messenger apps, right? And I think we need to see something similar happening also in our space where it's not like ENS and 0x addresses over there and then real-world finance over here. These two worlds need to live side by side. And we have an amazing, ubiquitous money address layer, money address protocol globally, right, with card details, with card numbers. So we need to let our hex addresses and our IBANs and our card details live side by side in experiences that embrace both of the worlds and make them work together. So these are some of the kind of broader dimensions we're thinking about. Now I want to actually show how this comes alive inside Zeal. Our mission at Zeal is to empower people to transact freely without intermediaries. We're a team of 11. 7 of us came from Revolut. It's been about 2 years in the making. We're a UK company. Gnosis just joined us as an investor and a partner a couple of weeks back. So Gnosis joins our other investors, Variant, Framework, Galaxy, and many others. And we're super excited after almost 2 years of building this, and recently also testing since last DappCon last year, to now take our product live on multiple platforms with multiple products. So today we're launching both the Zeal browser extension, the Zeal Android app, and the Zeal iOS app, which currently is available on test flight, but anyone can access to it, similar to how Uniswap launched their wallet. And Visa cards, importable or orderable through Zeal together with Gnosis Pay. We think these are key building blocks to help us bridge between your on-chain financial world and your real-world finances. So, see if this works as well. So what we have here, well, first off, we have our homepage on the left-hand side, which we just launched this morning, zeal.app. I'm going to show a couple of different use cases now, so you can see how Zeal comes alive. First off, just good old portfolio. You can add any wallet as a tracked wallet. So I'm going to add in Dejan Spartan here, because he has a large portfolio of many things. There we go. So we can see obviously all the tokens across many different networks. It's a long network list here. We support all EVMs, but some networks have smart wallets. Not all EVMs have smart wallets yet. DeFi positions, where you can see pending rewards, health ratios, and lending protocols. And if you have some NFTs, you can see them at the bottom as well as a gallery. So a very broad portfolio mode where you can see how your assets are developing over time, both when they're in your wallet as well as when they're deposited in different protocols. Now, I'm going to demo our smart wallet, which is an exciting one. All right, so smart wallet, you can pay for network fees with stablecoins and tokens. It's powered by Safe, and we support, off the get-go, 9 different networks with the same address space. So we're going to create a wallet here on stage. Now, this is a biometric safe wallet based on passkeys, right? So first I'm going to create a passkey with my face. Now we're generating a safe, counterfactually. And now we're deploying a reference safe on Gnosis chain. What's happening in the background here, in this 2-step click process, is you created a safe on Gnosis chain with a validator contract connected to your passkey and a secondary locally stored private key that can be used for ongoing transactions to reduce the gas overhead when making transactions. A little bit of technical detail, but it makes things smoother and also allows us to recover this address in the future with the same address space on multiple chains. So now we have a wallet here called OnStage. It's a freshly created wallet, as you saw. I'm going to send over some tokens to it. Let's send over some XDAI to OnStage. Send over 2 XDAI to OnStage. Now we're doing safety checks. So you can see first token balance simulation. You see exactly how tokens will decrease or increase in your wallet. In this case, it decreases because I'm sending out the tokens, right? You also see safety checks down here. Safety checks, for us, are many different things. One of them is we run a tenderly simulation, and you can open up the trace and see exactly what happens in the transaction if you're technical and want to see that. We also check if the tokens that are being transmitted or received are verified tokens on CoinGecko and a couple of other sources of truth. And we're also performing safety checks with blockade to see if there's any issue with the contract that you're interacting with or the token that you're interacting with. So blockade safety checks, tenderly simulations, and a number of proprietary internal safety checks. So let's send this over here. Add queue, and you can see here transaction status at the bottom. And yeah, there we go, transaction complete, sent. I'll also send some, just to show that it's a smart contract or multi-chain wallet. I'll send some USDC as well to on stage. Oh, this is the KVM, okay. Let's do, there we go. Same thing again, we get safety checks, sending to network, add it to queue, where is it on this journey to the first confirmation on chain? Okay, include in the block. So now we can open up the other wallet, the on-stage wallet, which now has received some tokens here. You see, you saw this is a new wallet, right, that I just created. So there's no Matic anything in this one. But I can now swap this Matic or this USDC to some token, to some Matic, for example. We have built-in swap and bridging screensaver. How many minutes to shut it all back? So we now show a swap from USDC into Matic on chain, approval transaction. Now, this is the first transaction I'm making here, so now I have to use my Face ID for the first transaction. It's the passkey signature that's happening now. Now I see relaying, queuing. This is account abstraction with Biconomy, with the safe, but with Biconomy for the accounting gas abstraction. And so you can see the step along the whole relay journey on the different stages. All right, now I've shown your transactions. Now, let's do a off-ramping transaction. We also have built-in bank transfers. So we can move money from on-chain USDC onto your bank account within Europe and the UK using faster payment cycle instant SEPA. And we can do it with USDC at the interbank rate without extra fees. So let's do that and see how quick that goes. So I'm now going to off-ramp, withdraw, say 5 USDC into GBP. Continue. All right, now we have started an off-ramping. And that might take a minute or two, so I'm going to let that cruise around in the background while I show some other cool stuff. What I wanted to show next is the guys who are on stage just now. Some of you might already have a Gnosis Pay card. Now you can have your Gnosis Pay card on the go in your phone as well. So you see down here in the middle, there's a little card tab. I'm going to switch over to that. And boom, here's my Gnosis Pay card. Here's my Gnosis Pay card with my transaction history. I'm not going to reveal my card details, because then you're going to empty all my 4.7 pounds on the card. But if I click card details, then you can see your information so that you can get your card details on the go without having your card on you. And you can add cash, which links out to a cross-chain transfer so that you can top up your card with URI, or GBP in this case. So now you can have on the go your Gnosis Pay card, and see the transaction history and your details. You can use it just like an ordinary new bank cards, side by side with your DeFi portfolio. And by the way, you can load them up in read-only mode to begin with, right? Like I did with the Spartan. So you can load up your Gnosis Pay card and your portfolios, and you can check your tokens and DeFi positions, while you can also manage your Gnosis Pay card, all in one app on the go. Now, I should mention, because we use passkeys, we're also cross-platform, right? I mentioned we're launching Android, iOS, and desktop, right? So here on the computer, I can now recover the same passkey wallet that I just created on mobile, because it's cross-device. On stage, biometrics, and here we go. Recovering this on desktop. Boom. And that's roughly how it works if you're getting in a new device. You just recover it. Takes very little time. No fiddling around calling your grandparents for seed phrases. Just click, recover, and off you go on a new device. OK. That's it. Available today at zeal.app. The permission-free digital wallet for your everyday life. Questions? Yes?
Are there any restrictions on who can use this?
Are there any restrictions on who can use this? So we are a software developer, but we interact with a number of different financial institutions that have licenses in different jurisdictions. So that means if you want to use bank transfers, you're creating an account with one of our partners, and they have licenses right now in Europe and the UK. And so you can do bank transfers in Europe and the UK. Gnosis Pay country availability is the same as Gnosis Pay, obviously. It's a card with them, right? So Europe and the UK. So primarily right now, it's Europe and the UK. And we are expanding to other territories very soon. But passkeys and self-custodial wallets and all that, that's without jurisdictions, right? And it's available in all app stores, not North Korea and Venezuela.
Any other questions? Yes.
Do you provide any other options for wallet recovery as well?
For specific smart wallets, we have a GDAI recovery, but we are sunsetting that for passkey recovery. So right now we are focusing on passkeys for recovery. We do not custody anything. We do not do any recovery. We haven't integrated with the broader safe recovery suite either. We're focused on the passkey recovery, which is done, I should also mention, in a self-custodial way, in that we don't work with another service provider that stores the mapping for the passkeys to your keys. This is done with an on-chain validated contract. So your dependence in this case is Google and Apple or whoever stores your passkeys, but they're stored also in a way that they don't have access to those passkeys.
Any other questions?
All right. Try Zeal. We're very excited to see what you all make use of it and bridging the world between on-chain and real-world finance.
And I can vouch for them. They've built something really cool.
Thanks, Steve. And yeah, the withdrawal sometimes takes a couple of minutes. It's been now probably 5 minutes. So try it out and see if you can get it to do faster.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anis. Can you have a round of applause, please?